This is TWiT.
One of the things that happened when we first checked into Disneyland, we showed our barcode, which was on our Disney app, which I've immediately deleted as soon as I left. I did not buy the Magic Genie band, which apparently does GPS tracking of your position in the park. Of course, my phone was doing that while I had the app on. But I scanned my ticket, and then they said, okay, smile, and they took a picture of me. Turns out Disney's been using face recognition at Disneyland and Disney World and other Disney parks. I'm not sure exactly. They say it's to understand guest behavior. There are also cameras all over the park. Now that they know what you look like, they know exactly where you are and what you're doing and whether you're smiling.
A lot of that also has to do with predator deflection. You know,
well, I agree.
They do a lot when you walk in.
I remember Taylor Swift turning away a stalker because she uses face recognition at her concerts. I thought that wasn't a bad thing. And then I remember the owner of Madison Square Garden.
Oof. Sorry. Long-time suffering Knicks fan here.
Just the words make you feel bad. But the Dorans own it, right? Dolans, that's it.
James Dolan.
James Dolan, who was mad that MSG was being sued by some attorneys, decided to turn away an attorney that they recognized from a Knicks game. He's known for being petty, says Vanity Fair. So
I mean, that is the nicest thing anyone has ever said about James Dolan. Hopefully he's not. He will ban me. I have like a small ticket package, so I better just
No, he's a wonderful fella, and you love your Knicks tickets.
Oh, man.
According to Rolling Stone, Tom Morello and Zack de la Rocha and Boots Riley, three apparently performing artists, I don't know, but I'm told, are among 100 other performers calling for a ban on face recognition at live events. Morello, de la Rocha, and Boots Riley say we're not going to perform at venues. Rage Against the Machine is Tom Morello's band, and Zack de la Rocha. Boots Riley, Speedy Ortiz say they will not perform at those venues, which is going to really, I think, limit their, Billy Joel's not leaving Madison Square Garden. I'm just going to say, but there are smaller independent concert venues who have pledged not to use face recognition. And at the same time, though, I feel like, that was a boon for Taylor Swift. So I have mixed feelings again about this one.
I have mixed feelings about it, too. Obviously, the more privacy, the better. And the more that we can hold this off, the longer we can hold this off, probably the better. But I do think it's inevitable where we're going to go through the world and be known.
You got to regulate it, though. I mean, James Dolan shouldn't be able to ban an attorney from a Brandy Carlisle concert because her firm was suing MSG. So that's clearly over the top. But if it's a security thing at Disney or at a Taylor Swift concert to prevent stalking and harassment, that seems like a good usage. I guess there's also the issue of false positives.
There are. I mean, large venues are a really dangerous place. Like, just so you know, like from a security perspective,
I was thrilled. But in order to get close to Disneyland, not even to enter it, but in order to go to downtown Disney, you have to go through metal detector, and they search your bags. And you know what? I was thrilled. I don't like being in big public venues anymore.
I was talking to someone I was doing an event at Disneyland, and was talking to someone there about it, and I said, "Oh, I've never brought my kids here. Like, I've never gone to Disneyland." And I did after this conversation, because he said, "Why would you not take your kids to Disneyland?"
Not only the happiest, it's the most secure place on earth.
Well, he said, I said, "I'm afraid I'm going to lose them," and he goes, "They never get lost. They just get misplaced for a little while." And he said, because it's $1 billion problem for Disney. I mean, like, we think about this all the time.
Oh yeah.
And he said, we can reunite you with as soon as your child knows, as soon as you know, and sometimes before you know that you've been separated, we've already found your child. There's people watching on these cameras.
City Hall.
So basically, other than the bathrooms and some of the eatery places, everything's under camera. And when they see a child who is lost, who's crying, can't find them. Every character there is trained. They're just all trained to make it, and their goal is to make it a better experience for the child that they got lost.
There are 5 Mickeys.
They have candy, and they have fun, and they talk to them.
Yeah.
But what they do in the video is they watch the kid go back. They back up the video backwards until they're with their parents, and then they go forward with the parents until they know where their parents are, and then they close that gap. And they do it. And I said, well, how many? This is incredible. I said, how many times do you do that a day? And he goes, like 150, 160 times a day. It's not even like, it's just like, but he said, this is the safest place in the world for kids.
I guess with facial recognition and the app, they could let you know on your phone, hey, we've got
eventually,
your kid. And that would be in a non-threatening, we've got your kid.
We did discuss facial. Yeah, we did discuss facial recognition. Yeah, we did talk about facial recognition, and that was, at least at the time, it was all about child predators. And so the thing is, you don't make it to the turnstiles. They will, that's appropriate. That's why they ask you, when you get to the turnstile, that's why they ask you to take your hat off, so that their facial recognition will work.
That's completely appropriate.
Yeah. And so, but they're like, that's a big problem for us. Like, we can't have that happen, and we'll do anything.
And frankly, it's great to have metal detectors. I don't, let's not have handguns in Disney World. I don't think that's a bad thing.
So I think that, and I'm usually not the security, like the heavy, like we should allow all this stuff as you see in MacBreak. I'm usually against most of those things.
Yeah.
But I will say that when you understand how porous these large venues are, and how easy it would be to do horrible things there.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a hard time going to those things, knowing I don't want to be where the crowd is. I work in a lot of these events, and I stay behind stage the whole time. And with the notion that, and we have protocols of like what will happen if something happens, and we have to talk through those on every single show. Yeah. Like, where do we go? What's our egress? What's what's the safe
because I was waiting for. I did not ride the Matterhorn, so I'm standing. There's one place where the people come down at the end of the Matterhorn.
That was the one I rode. That was it. I was a Matterhorn or a bus.
How do you feel now, huh? Lisa said her back still hurts.
Yeah. When my son was 5, it was I took him on, and I didn't want him to jump off behind me. So I said, just go in front of me. They put him in the first car.
Oh, that's the
worst.
He's
like 5 years old, and he loved it. Hung on to that thing, and all I could hear is him yelling, "I'm not scared. I'm
okay, Daddy." Well, anyway, so I'm standing there with my camera because I want to get a picture of them coming down. And I noticed within less than a minute that a security guy is standing across from me, just not hostilely or anything, just standing there, looking at me. And I noticed that. And then I went and sat down, and he went on with his way. They are very good. That didn't bother me. I thought that's appropriate. That's appropriate. So this is why I'm torn on this. Hey, if your band's name is Rage Against the Machine, you probably should be against face recognition at venues. I understand. but I'm thinking, if I'm Taylor Swift, I want that protection. I think that's a good thing.
And I think that we also underestimate how much facial recognition. When someone says, they're doing facial recognition at the event, as if they're not doing facial recognition on all the streets that lead up to the event. They're doing it everywhere. And all the other things that are happening. I mean, like, it's like not, like they found a lot when the Boston bombers, the Boston Marathon bombing, they knew who they were pretty quickly. They were able to suck that data out pretty fast. So it's, there's a lot there already.
Yeah.
The Madison Square Garden thing always cracked me up because it evinced such a misunderstanding of how large law firms actually work.
Yeah.
I mean, large law firms don't know all the disputes that they are handling. Not every member of the firm knows exactly all the litigation they're involved in.
And because one attorney can't go see Brandy Carlisle or a Knicks game, they're not going to, we better drop the lawsuit against the Dolans. That's not going to happen either. It's just petty. No. Petty's the right word for it. It's just BS.
I will say, with everything, it's not a matter of, we're going to drop the lawsuit. It does add a little friction to and this is why he shouldn't be allowed to do this. It does add friction to the next case. Like, the next case is like, well, this better be good because, we're not
going to get to see our Knicks games.
And it doesn't mean that they're not going to take the case if it's a good case, but it does mean that if it's not a really good case, they're like, it really worth this? Like, or should we just send
How aware of this are you when you go to Madison Square Garden, Jason, to see your team?
I'm usually pretty distracted by some turmoil or
a fist fight in the stands.
They've placed on me. I would have had a lot better, more sane upbringing if my dad never took me to a Knicks game. I mean, and now I'm doing the same thing to my 10-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter. So, hey, Alex, I wanted to ask Alex. We're talking about facial recognition. You were talking about Whole Foods earlier. Do you pay with your palm? Are you letting them connect your credit card with your palm with your biometrics?
What did they do? They did something with that. No, I use my Apple Pay.
Okay.
I just use my watch. Most of the time when I'm at Whole Foods.
That's a really good solution because Apple's protecting your privacy. It's still very convenient.
Best that they do. I mean, the bottom line is I use the little thing that potentially will save me 20 cents. Like, it never gets me any money for whatever I buy. Never gets me. I never buy with things that are on sale, evidently. And so it never gets me any money, but it knows, like, the one thing is if I want to buy food online, it's like, here's all the things you've bought at Whole Foods for the last 10 years
Is that good
2 or
or
3
not?
years.
Is that a feature?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I use it as I will say that it is a little bit of a feature if I'm trying to order something from Whole Foods.
You'll scan your Whole Foods code every time?
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to steal my Whole Foods code, go ahead and use it.
It changes. It changes all the time. It changes all the time. Yeah. So because it'll be like, it's too old if I don't put it up after I turned it on or whatever.
It does change. Look at that.
I don't, I think that I used to, I was the kind of guy that was like, I would burn, like, Colorado has this, you have to give your thumbprints. And I would literally put my thumbs on a hot plate before I went there and just burn them off just to be difficult, and so that's how much I was anti, like, do not follow me around. I don't want to give you any information that I have to. But at the same time, and I would grow a beard and I would do all kinds of weird things because I was just angry that they were asking for that. After you learn how deep it is, you're kind of like,
you gave up.
You're going to go to a cabin and use cash, or you're going to kind of just know that that's the nature of it, because it's really,
you give up.
It's really hard to avoid. Yeah.
So just statistically, so you know, there are 11 states right now considering enacting their own biometric privacy laws.
Like Illinois has,
Illinois has one, and many other states bundle biometric information, including California is in this group, as a form of sensitive information under their privacy laws. So, but it is all part of the patchwork that we live with every day, and it doesn't. You have to check in what state, what law applies, because we don't have a national standard on these things.
Yeah.
It's midweek, and you really want to know even more about the world of technology.
So you should check out Tech News Weekly, the show where we talk to and about the people making and breaking the tech news.
It's the biggest news. We talk with the people writing the stories that you're probably reading. We also talk between ourselves about the stories that are getting us even more excited about tech news this week.
So if you're excited, well, then join us. Head to twit.tv/TNW to subscribe.